$850 million, historic properties, a private art collection, rare books, stamps, and jewels valued in the hundreds of millions. This is the personal fortune of King Charles III, a heritage that has crossed generations and is now surrounded by suspense that divides the whole world. The fate of this inheritance may not include the king's youngest son. Yes, Prince Harry faces the real risk of getting nothing from this immense legacy, and the reason why is what you are about to understand. But before I continue, I ask you to please like this video. For you it costs nothing, but for us it means a lot, and it helps the Royal News Channel keep being the biggest royal news channel in the world. The difference between the Crown's assets and personal assets is at the heart of this drama. Palaces like Buckingham and Windsor belong to the Crown estate. They are owned by the institution and can never appear in a private will. But Balmoral in Scotland and Sandringham in England are in another category. They are private properties, bought with the family's own money in the 19th century and inherited by Charles from his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. These two symbols filled with history are now at the center of the mystery, because the king has absolute power to decide if he leaves them to William, to Harry, or if he cuts his youngest son off the list. This speculation grew stronger in September of 2025, right after Harry and Charles met at Clarence House. That reunion, surrounded by rumors of coldness and official denials, was enough to put the inheritance issue back in the spotlight. Charles's personal wealth goes much further. It includes art collections spanning centuries, rare stamps, priceless jewels, private libraries, and investments valued in the hundreds of millions. Altogether, the estimate runs between $770 and $850 million, a fortune that could be directed entirely to William, leaving Harry only with the crumbs of what he got from his mother and grandmother. And here lies the most painful point. Harry received about $10 million from Diana and still has the right to $8.5 million from the Queen Mother's fund. But compared to Charles's fortune, that looks like little more than consolation. Being cut out of this inheritance would mean not only losing money, but also being severed from the emotional roots that define the very identity of the House of Windsor. This distance did not come out of nowhere. It started in 2020, when Harry and Meghan stepped away from royal duties, and it reached a point of no return in 2023 with the release of the book Spare. In it, Harry revealed physical fights with William, harsh criticism of Camilla, and accusations that exposed his father to ridicule. For Charles, that was not catharsis, it was betrayal. Since then, every gesture has deepened the rift. The eviction from Frogmore Cottage, exclusion from ceremonies, and now the shadow of a will without Harry's name. And this whole discussion about inheritance mixes with something even more delicate: the king's health. In February of 2024, the palace confirmed a cancer diagnosis after prostate exams. Since then, Charles has undergone regular treatment and, despite moments of fragility, returned to official duties. If Harry's exclusion is confirmed, the impact will be devastating. In the United Kingdom, some will see it as justice, others as cruelty. A king protecting the crown and the heir, or a father punishing his son with no mercy. In the United States, the story will feed the narrative of Harry and Meghan as victims of an impenetrable monarchy, making their media value grow even more. And across the Commonwealth, countries like Canada and Australia may use this episode as fuel to accelerate their break from the crown. History shows we have seen something similar before. Edward VIII in 1936 abdicated and lost not only the crown, but also the privileges and income that came with it, living in exile with limited resources. But Harry's case has a difference. It unfolds in the digital era, with instant impact and a global judgment that splits the planet. In the end, the question is unavoidable. When Charles's will is opened, will we see a gesture of reconciliation, or the final proof that the Duke of Sussex has been erased from a fortune valued at $850 million? In my opinion, if King Charles truly excludes Harry from his personal inheritance, this will be the most brutal and symbolic chapter of this whole saga. It will not just be a financial cut, but a definitive rupture, as if the monarch was carving in stone that blood ties do not outweigh loyalty to the institution. Harry bet everything on independence, but by turning family pain into fuel for books, interviews, and million-dollar contracts, he gave up the right to ask for closeness. If this will becomes reality, it will not just be a legal document, but a public and eternal condemnation of Harry to financial and emotional exile. If you liked this video, make sure to hit the like button because it helps the channel reach more people. And if you are not subscribed yet, take the chance to subscribe and be part of our community that is close to reaching the historic mark of 300,000 subscribers.